Hey everybody, Shelly Jo Wallstrom here, Shelly Jo Aminos, also known as the Amino Acid Lady and hypnotherapist, and I'm excited for this second section in our class, the Amino Acid and Nutrition Basic Certification course. This is week 2, section 2, and this is diving into the amino acids. I'm going to start out with telling you why I have my own amino acids, why they were created. When I started putting this whole program together, I would have my clients and I'd say, okay, now go to the health food store and buy these amino acids. And then I would call them a couple days later and I'd ask them, how are you feeling? Their answer was, well, I haven't had time to go to the health food store and buy the amino acids. And I think, oh my heavens, I just gave you a way to feel better and I can't even get you to go to the health food store or even buy them on Amazon. And that was a little bit frustrating to me. The second thing is that I realized that, the FDA does not regulate supplements and not all supplements are created equally. When I was telling them which amino acids to buy, I really didn't know if they were great or good or if they were doing what they were supposed to. The third reason is that at that time I had just been introduced to energy healing field, and I had gone to an energy healing conference where I had started working with Tammy Anderson Ward, and I told her what I was doing. I had seen her at a concert and I was so excited that she became one of my clients, and I told her, hey, these are the ones you need to do, and go to Amazon or the health food store and buy them. And she said to me, why are you sending everybody to the health food store? Why don't you have your own? I thought, okay, that's a really crazy idea. She then invited me to go speak down in Mesa for my very first conference I'd ever spoke at. Her friend and another presenter named Krishna Hicks. When I told her what I was doing and how these all worked, she asked me the same question. Why don't you have your own amino acids? Well, I thought to myself, I don't know. I didn't know I could have my own amino acids. I didn't know I could have my own supplements. Did you? That made me thinking, wow, could I have my own supplements and then know for sure what was in them, what I was telling people to buy, and have them in my office so that if they came to me, I could offer them what I knew would work, my own amino acids. Within a month, I was led to the right person who introduced me to a manufacturing company out of America Fork. And things just went crazy really quickly. Next thing you knew, I had my own amino acids. Super crazy and super awesome. There's 6 of them right now. I want to tell you and read why I feel like Shelly Jo Aminos are different or better than anything else on the market. This is from my manufacturer. It says, the Amino Acid Lady supplements by Shelly Jo Aminos Nutrition. They are, first of all, manufactured in the U.S. in a GMP certified facility, which stands for Good Manufacturing Practices, are the practices required in order to conform to the guidelines recommended by agencies that control the authorization and licensing of manufacture and sale of dietary supplements. The main purpose of the GMP is always to prevent harm from occurring to the end user, and that's from Wikipedia. These particular amino acids are a vegan-friendly formula, all natural formulas. They're non-GMO, gluten-free, and all products have been tested for heavy metals. That is why I know that what Shelly Jo Aminos are made of and how they are made, that they're actually going to do what they say they're going to do. When the raw material comes into their plant, they test it to make sure it is what it is. Then when they all get done, they also test them to make sure that they're certified to have in them what they have. The great thing about amino acids is, first of all, they're inexpensive. And even Shelly Jo Aminos, they're priced about the midpoint. When you go online and you look at the different ones with Amazon and all the different ones, they're about the midpoint. So they're not the super cheapest, and they're also not the most expensive. And when I tell you that there are no artificial colors, what I mean by that, when I first had them created, they were all white, which made it really hard for people to know which ones they were taking, especially if they all got mixed up in a bag. Well, now tyrosine is green, and they are green by chlorophyll. The outside capsule is what's the color, and it's created by chlorophyll. The 5-HTP is kind of a pinkish color, and it's colored with beet. And the DLPA is a yellowish color, and it's created by turmeric, which are all 3 natural ingredients. Glutamine is white, and they're not going to change colors. Our GABA is orange, and it's orange by natural colors. And then we have one more, which is tryptophan, and as of this recording, it's still white, but it will be a different color, and it will be natural. That's the great part about these amino acids. So you can be really proud knowing that what you're promoting are really what they are, and they're all natural, and they're awesome. Number 2 on your guides, it says ethically give them options. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't want people coming in and feeling like we're just bombarding them to buy supplements. I want them to understand that what we're offering them is something that can help them. I don't want them to feel pressured. You have a couple of options. When people come into your office, you can go through their program and decide which ones are going to work best for them. If they're really not sure, they're kind of hesitant, you can have them trial them in your office. It doesn't take very long for them to work, so by giving them some in your office, you can let them see how they feel. They're in the next section, you're going to learn about trialing. There's a lady named Trudy Scott who has a trialing protocol that she has them in her office. Also, Julia Ross, the one who started the mood cure, she also has a book called The Diet Cure, came up with her own protocol for trialing. And you'll get that information in the next session. This is what I do. And this is my trialing pack. It has 4 of each of the amino acids in it. It's also got a vitamin C, because what you'll learn later is that if somebody has a reaction, you can give them some vitamin C, and it'll help take them back to where they were before they started taking the amino acids. This is called a Pocket Full of Sunshine. It's got 4 of each of the amino acids out of the 6. It also has instructions in there of how to trial. So if they want to buy this and they want to take it home, I charge $20 for this. There's also a discount code in there for $10, so they can try them, see if they work, then they can go online and get $10 off of their next or their first order of amino acids. So it's kind of like they're buying those for $10. That gives them the chance to feel that they really work and which works best. Now, my Shelley Jo Hypno amino acids are all capsules except for GABA. The reason I have them in capsules is because capsules dissolve faster than like a heavy-duty thick tablet. It's just personal preference. GABA is a tablet, but it's very, very soft. And the reason that one is a tablet is because what it's made of dissolves really quickly and goes in their system faster. Number 3 is that there's an advantage to taking them with or without food. What are the advantages? Well, because amino acids are a protein base, they're in a form that's ready to go right into your brain and do what they're supposed to do. If you take them by themselves, then they're going to feel a difference within 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. If they take them with food, what happens is because it's a protein, it's going to attach to the food, and then it has to digest, and then it's going to digest, and then you have to wait for it to digest before they feel the effect. And that's going to take longer. If they take them with food, it's still going to work. Like I said, it just takes longer. So I'd rather have them take them with food than not take them at all. They can add it to some food. If they'd like, they can add it to applesauce or apple juice or orange juice. You just don't want it to be anything that's going to have any protein with it that it's going to hook onto. The applesauce and apple juice works really well with children, especially small children where you're only giving them a half of a dose. You can put a little bit in applesauce and they're not going to notice a difference. When they start, they're going to start taking them very, very slowly. They're going to take them on a schedule so that they can just see which ones are working best and how to make them work the best. When I first started, I would just say, hey, these are all the amino acids you need. Start taking them. The challenge is when they did it that way, if they had a reaction, they didn't know which one they had it from. Most of them do not, most people do just fine on them. But for some people who have a reaction, maybe a headache or something, or even, it may not even be linked to the amino acids, but they're going to put the blame on the amino acids. Then it was really hard to get them to start taking them again. So now what I do is I can get them to take one at a time, and I do it on a schedule so that they take the time to take one, wait 10, 15 minutes, see how they feel. If they think, oh, you know what, I'm not really sure, I think this is a placebo effect, are these really working, not working, then they can add another one, but they're only working with one symptom and one amino acid until they can figure out which level is best for them. Once they find this out and they're on it for 2 to 5 days and they know that, okay, this is the amount that's good for me, then they keep doing that one and then they add in the next one. And it's the same process over and over until they're taking how many they need. Some people need only one, some people need all 6 of them. Right, so here we go. The mood regulating transmitters and their precursor amino acids. The first one is your catecholamines. That one is called the catecholamines because there's 3 of them. There's dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. A lot of times they're called the cats. Most of the time we talk about them as dopamine, and that's because that's the first part of the neurotransmitter that starts the process, that the pathway. And that one is when your dopamine is at the right level, then you feel energy, drive, focus. When the dopamine is low, you're going to crave something for stimulation, such as sweets and starches, chocolate, could be caffeine, aspartame, meth, tobacco. The drugs also could be cocaine. Now, alcohol follows all of them, so it hits each of the neurotransmitters. The legal drugs that are used would be Ritalin or Adderall, something that's going to give you some type of energy. Also, it's depression and apathy. Now, there's 2 kinds of depressions and apathy. The first one is going to be like the dark cloud, kind of like Eeyore. The second one hits the dopamine neurotransmitter, and that's feeling of apathy. You just don't care. Also, lack of energy, feeling bored, lack of drive, lack of focus. That's where ADD and ADHD sits, is with low dopamine. The 2 amino acids that are the precursors are L-phenylalanine and L-tyrosine. L-phenylalanine is a essential amino acid, means your body does not produce it and it needs it from outside source. L-tyrosine is a non-essential, means your body does produce it, but a lot of times does not produce enough of it to create keep the dopamine up where it needs to be. L-phenylalanine is one that we do not carry. It is a milder form of L-tyrosine. So if somebody finds that they're very sensitive to L-tyrosine, then you can move them over to L-phenylalanine, or you can drop the amount of L-tyrosine that they need. But these are the precursors, and that's going to help you to raise that dopamine level. Now, the thing about L-tyrosine is it's not the same as sugar, starches, or chocolate or caffeine, because it doesn't cause you to spike and then drop. It keeps your energy level, so it's a sustained energy. The next one, and the one that ours is called Energy Booster. It looks like this one right there, Energy Booster. You can see that. And it says it's good for drive, motivation, focus, alertness, and sustained energy. Okay. The next one is going to be your endorphins. Now, your endorphins are your happy happy feeling. When the endorphins are where they need to be, it's that feeling of psychological and physical pain relief, tolerance, pleasure, loving feelings, numbness, and feelings of reward naturally. It's your happy. I always use that story from Legally Blonde, the one that says, if you haven't seen it, but if you have, you know which one I'm talking about. The one where she says, there's no way she could have killed her husband because she exercises. Exercises causes endorphins. Endorphins make people happy, and happy people do not kill their husbands. I like that. Anyway, that is what your endorphins do, as they make you happy. When they are not working correctly, then you crave something for comfort, reward, or numbing. And also the feeling of, oh my gosh, I love this food. I love this behavior. I love these clothes. I love to go do this. It's where you're putting your love in things that are not really lovable. It's also being sensitive to emotional, physical pain. It's where grief, excessive grief sits. It's also where self-harm sits. So if you know somebody who self-harm themselves, what's going on is they're either not having enough of the endorphins, and so they're cutting so that they can feel something, or they have too much. Because what happens is when they cut or they self-harm, it releases endorphins. And the other one is find themselves crying easily for things that really aren't something to make them that sad, or when all of a sudden they're feeling more emotional, somebody says something to them and it's hard for them to, let it slide off their back. It's also, now it can show up in cravings of sweets and starches, same thing, chocolate, caffeine, alcohol, tobacco. The Vicodin is one of the drugs that helps raise endorphins. It's also where cocaine and marijuana can sit also, but the main thing is it's also the drug where the opiate addiction sits. What do I mean by that? Well, when somebody could go into the hospital and not have any addiction at all, they have a surgery, they give them an opiate afterwards to help with the pain, and all of a sudden their brain goes, "What is that?" And they become instantly addicted to the opiates. The scary thing about opiates is it's like playing Russian roulette, and you don't ever know if you're the one that's going to become addicted from it, because that is one addiction that you do not choose. It chooses you, and that's what makes it really scary. Besides the foods and the things like that to comfort, reward, or numb, check out, it's also obsessive behavior or destructive behavior, pornography, excessive shopping, excessive gambling, gaming, internet, social media, anything that someone says, you know what, I just want to either numb out, or I want to feel love, or I deserve it. That is a sign that the endorphins could need something to help them. Ours is called DLPA Happy. I don't know if this is backwards or not, but if you can see that, DLPA Happy is for mood elevation, healthy nervous system, and emotional balancing. And that is done with, includes tyrosine can help with the endorphins, D-phenylalanine, and L-phenylalanine. So what DLPA is half L-phenylalanine, so it gives you a little bit of energy. And then the other half is D-phenylalanine, which kind of makes life look brighter, like a runner's high. There's also another one that we can use for somebody who especially is coming off of withdrawing from an addiction. One is called D-phenylalanine, and that means it's only the DPA instead of the DLPA. That one is used for somebody who is not able to use the DLPA based on some different precautions, or we don't want them to have the energy, but we want them to feel the brightness of life. The only place you can buy DPA is through like Amazon. The next one is going to be your GABA. Now, the way I like to explain GABA is this way. GABA is that physical feeling of the anxiety, the panic. It's that uptight, overstressed, can't calm down, not in your stomach, want to bite somebody's head off feeling. It's when you physically feel something that's what the GABA is. When your GABA is good, you feel calm, you feel relaxed. You also have stress tolerance. But when it's not, it's all those other things. You can also crave carbs, alcohol, drugs for relaxation. That is where marijuana can come in. Sugar, streets, alcohol, it's Xanax, it's Ativan, it can be tobacco, Klonopin, or Neurontin. Those are some of the things that help calm down. What we have is called GABA Chill. It's one of my favorite. And that is because, first of all, it tastes good. It tastes like an orange pixie stick. It's a chewable capsule. It looks like this. It works really quickly. It's made to work within 10 to 15 minutes. The reason we have GABA Chill, GABA also has tyrene, L-theanine, and inositol in them. So it has all four of those things in it. And there's a reason for it. First of all, those things also help to calm you down. The other reason is GABA converts to glutamate. We all do it, but glutamate is an excitatory. For somebody who is sensitive to GABA, they'll convert very, very quickly. And when that happens, they're going to become more agitated after taking GABA. And that'll be a sign that they've taken too much. Because we add these things in here along with some turmeric, it causes a block so that most people do not go into that glutamate excitatory feeling. I just want you to make sure you know that, because some people are very sensitive, and if they are, they just need to take less of it. The next one is serotonin. And serotonin and melatonin are your feel-good, positive outlook, emotional stability, flexibility, self-confidence, humor, emotional and mental, just feeling positive mind. It's also melatonin is what allows you to sleep at night. When those are low, then what happens is you have afternoon, evening cravings, which can still be the same thing of sweet starch, tobacco. It's also the drugs of ecstasy and marijuana. The drugs that they give you to help you would be Prozac, Zoloft, Paxil, Effexor, Lexapro, Celexa. Those are known as an SSRIs, and that is really important to know, because that is important to take into consideration when you're recommending the precursors of amino acids to help your serotonin and melatonin levels. It's also negativity, depression, worry, anxiety, obsessive thoughts, behavior, low self-esteem, social anxiety. Now, the last amino acid that we use is called L-glutamine. Perfectionism. This one helps with craving control, migraines, irritability, rage. We're going to be talking more about this one, dislike of hot weather, lecture, because what it does is it helps the phobias of fears, cravings, winter blues, digestive health, and chronic pain, keep your blood sugar level, and suicidal thoughts. There are also sufficient vitamins and minerals that are cofactors that are always required when it comes to low in serotonin. They're not able to convert to melatonin, which makes it hard to go to sleep. So somebody who's a night owl, especially has a hard time sleeping, B-complex, magnesium, insomnia, calcium, vitamin D, vitamin C, don't allow them to go to sleep. Fish oil. So it's really important to get your clients the drugs that are used for people to help them sleep would be trazodone, minerals, Lunesta, and Ambien. Now, what we have is 5-HTP, and this is positive mind, and it's for relaxation, reduce anxiety, and mood enhancement. Then you have tryptophan, which is positive sleep, and its job is also mood enhancement, positive mood, relaxation, and restful sleep. Those are the two that we use to help raise the serotonin.